As usual, hello fellow basketball lover. We have gathered here today, or better said, you have clicked on this video to discuss who are the top 10 Turkish NBA players of all time. We're going to examine what made these next 10 players so remarkable during their stay in the league, and we're going to talk about their achievements in the NBA only without focusing on their international play at a club or national team level. But before we jump to the list, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Let's go to number 10, and to kickstart our list we have none other than Furkan Aldemir. Yeah, chances are that if you're not Turkish or an avid Philadelphia fan, you might not have heard of this guy. Aldemir was the 53rd pick in the 2012 draft when the LA Clippers selected him. His NBA rights were traded twice before he actually played in the NBA for just one season in 2014-2015. He even got to start 9 games out of the grand total of 41 played in his brief stint in the US. His per-game averages don't impress, but Aldemir was a great rebounder and passer from the power forward spot, and he even has a small collection of NBA highlights. Unfortunately for him, no other team has decided to bring in his talents after this season, but at least he can say that he trusted the process, as Aldemir was part of one of the worst teams of the 2010s. In his lone season in the NBA, Philadelphia only posted an 18-64 record as they were waiting for Joel Embiid's return from injury. Let's go to number 9, where we have Ömer Yurtseven, a guy who is entering his just 3rd year in the NBA. Yurtseven was a part of the Miami Heat for the last 2 years, and he's an undrafted player who started his NBA journey when the Miami Heat signed him in the 2021 off-season as a backup center. Even though in his rookie season he posted averages of 5.3 points and rebounds per game in only 12 minutes of action, Ömer Yurtseven only played in 9 regular season games in the following year. This was due to a foot injury that kept him out for almost the entire season, and he barely played during the playoffs as well. After being released by the Heat this summer, Ömer is looking to bounce back in the upcoming 2024 season after the Utah Jazz signed him to a 2-year deal. He's only 25 years old and playing in Utah alongside an emerging center in Walker Kessler, who'll be entering just his 2nd season in the league. I expect them to gain more experience together, and Ömer has a chance to reach his full potential in the league. Given his young age and potential, Ömer can climb in this ranking by the time his NBA career is done. Moving to number 8 of our Turkish NBA players list, where Furkan Korkmaz is waiting for us. Just like Ömer Yurtseven, Korkmaz is another current NBA player who is entering his 7th season in the league. The 26th pick in the 2016 draft, Korkmaz only played for the Philadelphia 76ers until now, where he provides the occasional off-the-bench microwave scoring. He's a career 35.6% 3-point shooter, and he has 1 more year left on his Philadelphia contract, but I'm expecting him to be traded before the completion of this agreement. Before the 2023 trade deadline, Korkmaz requested a trade, but Philly couldn't find a partner to fulfill his request. Furkan's future in the NBA seems a bit shaky at the moment, as he almost entirely fell out of the team's rotation. But let's root for him to find a way to climb back on the minutes per game scale and to have a season similar to his best till date, which was in 2020. Over that season, Korkmaz played in 72 games, averaging 9.8 points per game and 40% from the 3-point land. Going to number 7 on our list, we have another center with the name of Ömer Aşık, and you might remember this guy for his great defense. He was the 36th pick in 2008, but only traveled overseas in 2010 when his career started with the Chicago Bulls, where he delivered this monster block on Dwayne Wade during the playoffs. After 2 years of playing backup to Joakim Noah, Aşık signed with the Houston Rockets as a free agent. His first season in Houston was a revelation, as Aşık started all 82 games and averaged a double-double for the entire year. Not only that, but he also emerged as one of the best interior defenders during this period. Then, the Rockets traded for Dwight Howard, and Aşık was once again forced to come off the bench in the next season. Ashok was then traded to the New Orleans Pelicans, where he played alongside Anthony Davis. He was a starter for 2 seasons and they even got to make it to the playoffs in 2015, where again Ashok was the starting center. His role and production took a big hit in his last 2 years in the league, and in the 2017-2018 season the Pelicans traded him midway through the year back to the Bulls, where it all began. Ashok only wore the Bulls uniform in 4 more games, after which his NBA career was over. Still, Ashok is one of the best role players in the 2010s, and he managed to put together an 8-year career in which he averaged north of 5 points per game and 7 rebounds per game. At number 6, we have Enes Freedom, formerly known as Enes Kanter. Enes is the highest draft pick out of all the Turkish players that have played in the NBA, with him being picked 3rd overall in the 2011 draft. He started the NBA journey with the Utah Jazz, and he gradually ramped up from low minutes outputs in his first year to securing a starting spot by his 4th season in the league. He had multiple seasons averaging a double-double, and he was known as a fierce rebounder, and he posted a ridiculous stat line in 2021 when he scored 24 points and grabbed 30 rebounds. His most fruitful days came in OKC, and in 2016 he was an essential player in their playoff run. Even though it ended with a Game 7 loss against the Warriors, for this run he was coming off the bench to provide energy and dominate both sides of the glass. His rebounding efforts usually translated into second chance points for his team. Enes played 748 career games and he suited up for 5 different teams in his 11 years in the league. Interestingly enough, he's only 31 years old, so it's a surprise he's no longer on an NBA roster at the moment, but he claims that his activism against the human rights abuse is the reason why he's no longer playing basketball. Hopefully we'll see him play in the NBA once again. And now we land at number 5, where we meet Cedi Osman, a 6'7" small forward who had the chance to play in the NBA Finals in his very first season in the league in 2018. Osman was initially drafted by the Timberwolves, but he was dealt to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Osman saw his first NBA action in LeBron's last season with the Cavs, and while his playing time was limited, he still managed to see some playoff action as well. The following 3 years, Osman was assigned a starting role and he did a decent job by averaging double digits in the scoring department. The last couple of years saw him coming off the bench once again in a smaller role, which was working pretty well for him as he provided some scoring power to the Cavs' second unit, which was lacking scoring and veteran experience. The summer of 2023 presented Osman a new opportunity when he was traded to the San Antonio Spurs. And while Osman's role with the Spurs might be similar to his on the Cavs, I think that playing under Greg Popovich should inspire him to have one of the best seasons yet. He's only 28 years old, but somehow it feels like he's one of those guys that have been around the league forever. We get to number 4 on our list, where we have Ersan Ilyasova. Even though he was kind of an NBA journeyman as he played for 7 different teams, Ilyasova has put together a solid career in 13 years of playing. Ersan was the 36th pick in the 05 draft, however, over the next 4 years, he played in the G League, came to play in the NBA for the 07 season, went overseas to play in Spain for the next 2 years, after which he finally settled with the Milwaukee Bucks for the next 6 seasons. A relatively weird story about him is that during a 3-year period from 2015 to 2018, Ilyasova played for 5 different teams, and over this time he had 2 different stints with the Philadelphia 76ers. After being traded by Philly to Atlanta in 2017, the Hawks waived him in February 2018, and Philly signed him once again for the remainder of the season. For his career, Ilyasova appeared in 52 playoff games, and he has a career average of 10.6 points per game to go with 5.6 rebounds per game. His career ended in 2021 after a brief stay on the Utah Jazz, where he only appeared in 17 games. Although a role player for the majority of his career, Ilyasova put together a 7-year streak of averaging 10 plus points, peaking at 13.2 points per game when playing for the Milwaukee Bucks in the 2012-2013 season. Besides playing in the NBA, Ersan Ilyasova also had a stellar career as the stunt double of James Franco. I just had to do it. And we finally cracked the top 3 with another current player, Alperen Şengün, yet another Turkish center. I know most of you might think that having this 21-year-old at number 3 already might seem a bit misplaced. However, Şengün already solidified his role on a young Rockets team, which is filled with multiple prospects and possible future stars in the league. Şengün had a very good second season in 2023, a year which ended with him almost averaging a double-double, 14.8 points per game and 9 rebounds per game. To complement his offensive skills, Şengün also added 3.9 assists per game from the center spot, which shows how effective he can be passing from the block. He impressed everyone in the league over the course of this season, and he also caught some bodies and put people on posters. In my opinion, he's a candidate for the most improved player in the next couple of years, and I really see him averaging 20, 10 and 5 for a season. Houston definitely lacked veteran leadership since Şengün joined the league, but with the recent signings of Fred VanVleet and Jeff Green, Şengün can find some mentorship to elevate his game as soon as possible. Keep an eye out for this guy, as he might even take the number 1 spot on this list by the time his playing days are over. Let's move to the second spot on our list, where we find Hedo Türkoğlu. Türkoğlu was the 16th overall pick in the 2000 draft when the Sacramento Kings selected him. Having him inserted in the Kings rotation in his rookie season speaks volumes, as this was a very deep team filled with lots of talent. Even though he was a reserve during his 3-year stay in Sacramento, Türkoğlu saw plenty of minutes, and this has translated in an all-rookie second-team selection. Türkoğlu also had the chance to get some playoff minutes, as his Kings were regular title contenders during the time he spent there. He then had a 1-year stint with the San Antonio Spurs, where he even got the starting small forward assignment for the playoffs. But his career really took off in 2004 when he signed as a free agent with the Orlando Magic. His arrival in Orlando coincided with Dwight Howard's, and the two built a very special bond and chemistry. Hedo really was one of the first point forwards that the league has ever seen. He was a 6'10" forward that can handle the ball and pass like a point guard. Not only that, but Hedo also had a great 3-point shot, and he averaged over 40% on 3-pointers in multiple seasons. His best years in the league were in 2008 when he won the Most Improved Player award, and in 2009 when Türkoğlu and Howard led the Magic to the NBA Finals, where they lost against Kobe and the Lakers. Still, that 2009 run was very impressive because they got rid of the Celtics and the Cavs in back-to-back playoff series. Some Orlando Magic fans might disagree with my choice to place him at number 2, as Türkoğlu was a key part of some of the best years in the organization's recent history. But still, there's one more player left. And drum rolls, please! The number 1 in our ranking of Turkish NBA players goes to Mehmet Okur. Okur not only had a similar career as Türkoğlu, but he's also the most decorated Turkish NBA player. Okur was drafted 38 by the Detroit Pistons in 2001, and while he only joined the Pistons in 2002, he was a regular in the rotation, albeit as a reserve. In just his second year in the league, Okur was part of the Detroit team that won the title against the Lakers, making him the only Turkish player to win an NBA championship. Even though it happened as an injury replacement, Okur is also the first Turkish player to be selected in an All-Star game. And we got a great highlight out of it when Shaq played him one-on-one at the 3-point line. And it doesn't end here. In 2016, Okur was named a player development coach for the Phoenix Suns, this making him the first Turkish citizen to enter the coaching world in the NBA. Mehmet Okur might also be one of the first centers to really have a good 3-point shot, and besides other names such as Nowitzki, Rashid Wallace or Rashard Lewis, he helped popularize the new era of stretch bigs. In his 10 years in the league, Mehmet Okur averaged 37.5% from 3, peaking at a surprising rate of 44.6% in 2009. His best years were on the Utah Jazz, who he led to multiple playoff appearances, and they even reached the Western Conference Finals in 2007. Okur finished his NBA career in 2012 after playing in just 17 games for the New Jersey Nets. For his career, he played in 634 games and has a career average of 13.5 points per game and 7 rebounds per game. For his accomplishments and for being the first Turkish player to win a title and be an All-Star, Mehmet Okur also tops our list as the best Turkish player to have played in the NBA. I hope you enjoyed this video, but let me know in the comment section if you would shuffle this list any other way. Also, let me know what other country you would like me to cover in a future video. Until then, thanks for watching.